Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. Okay, this one's going to be a little short because I'm still not feeling that great, but wanted to kind of go over this a little bit. I apologize for canceling the live stream last night, but I did not feel well at all. I'm still not feeling great, but kind of going through. Want to talk this morning about the fiasco that is State Bill 4 down in Texas. If you're aware of this is Greg Abbott saying, okay, if the federal government's not going to enforce the laws, we will. And he authorized, Border Patrol, or not Border Patrol, but, Texas State Police, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to now conduct arrests and deportations of illegals. Well, of course, the liberal court system, the George Soros based liberal court system, because we all elected George Soros president, didn't we? Uh, Appealed this to the Fifth Circuit Court, and the Fifth Circuit Court put a stay on it and said, nope, sorry, that the state does not have the right to enforce immigration. That's a federal deal. So it went up to the Supreme Court yesterday, and the Supreme Court ended the Fifth Circuit Court's stay and said, no, this has to be heard on its merits. That is not a valid reason. And so they reinstated Texas being able to allow to arrest and deport illegals. But because the Supreme Court kicked it back to the Fifth Circuit and said, now you have to hear it on the merits, the Fifth Circuit immediately came out and said, okay, we're putting a stay on the law again until we hear it based on the merits. Then they're going to make their decision, which of course will be to stop Texas. And then it will go up to the Supreme Court again. So this is the kindergartners fighting, it's like, no, it's my ball, it's my ball, it's my ball, it's my ball. That sort of crap, back and forth. I fault both courts on this one because the Fifth Circuit obviously is out of line on this completely, and the Supreme Court dropped the ball and should have made a decision right then and there and said, no, the president has the authority to enforce the immigration laws. He doesn't need anything from Congress, and in respect to the president's dereliction of duty, it is up to the states to enforce the laws. That's the way I see it should be. Okay, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal professional or anything of the sort. I have a feeling that's how it's going to come out here in the next couple of days as this is heard, but it should have been done quickly. Now, then of course we get into Mexico's response on this, and this is where it gets interesting, because Mexico completely stands against Texas and with the Fifth Circuit. Mexico wants all these people to come into the United States. Of course they do. The second largest contributor to the Mexican GDP is Mexican nationals working in the United States and sending money back to Mexico. So, of course they want it because that's how they keep their economy afloat with American dollars. Okay. But Mexico has said they will not take any immigrants back. If they've come into the United States and the U.S. wants to deport them, Mexico's not going to accept them. That's a violation of international law, okay? Because unless a person chooses to be a person without a country cannot choose for them, okay? And if you are a citizen of Mexico, you have a right to be in Mexico. Now, Mexico could say for sure, we're not taking Haitians back, or we're not taking Ecuadorians back, or whatever. Sure, that's totally fine. But then the question is, whose responsibility is it to get those people back to Ecuador or Haiti or whatever? And this is where the problem comes in for us. This is where the illegal immigration now spins into an economic issue bigger than just the housing, food, electricity, Visa cards, whatever. Because even if what should happen, in my opinion, is every freaking illegal in the country should be deported, we have to, the United States government, which of course means your money and my money, we have to pay to send these people back. Okay? We already know Joe is flying in some 30,000 illegals a month into the United States on our tax dollar. Start doing the math. 10 million divided by 30,000. How many months is it going to take to fly back every one of these illegals to probably 175 countries around the world? I mean, we're talking massive, massive amounts of money. Okay? You know, put them on Boeing planes. They might not even make it. You know, then we'd have a worldwide incident. But this is now the big issue, because if we start deporting people and the countries refuse to take them back, remember what I told you about Venezuela maybe about a month ago? Venezuela is refusing to take their own citizens back. Well, we know why these countries are doing that. They emptied their prisons, told the people to head north and go start a new life in the United States. So we've got all these criminals that are coming in. You know, it's funny, you go back to the 2020 election when Trump was saying all these people coming across the border are criminals. Nostradamus Trump, because that's what we're getting now. They're sending their worst. They're prisoners, they're drug dealers, they're rapists, they're murderers, they're gang members. And this is what we're getting brought into the United States. This is a disaster. This is a humanitarian disaster, because people are going to get hurt physically or financially. American citizens, I mean, from this importation of the dregs of society. I know there's a lot of people who are not going to like me refer to people like that, but you know what? When the people in the United States 250 years ago didn't like the way their country was being operated, they stood up and did something. These other people, when they don't like the way their country's being operated now, they run away with their tail between their legs. There's the difference. Why should they benefit from the things that we have to consistently fight for? Because certainly they aren't fighting for it. They just want the free handouts. But here, you and me are hanging on every day by fingernails, trying to maintain a life against a dictatorial regime such as the Bidens, and they expect us to just let it all happen. There's a big surprise coming for a lot of people. Maybe it's November. Maybe it's earlier. Pinball out.